The hip-hop world is buzzing, the streets are talking, and the DMs are blowing up. GloRilla, the Memphis sensation who's been climbing charts and taking names, just snapped, and the timing couldn't be more explosive. It all started when Megan Thee Stallion, known for her no-holds-barred personality and fearless energy, decided to air out a bombshell on social media, her alleged three-way with Yo Gotti. Social media erupted. Fans, haters, and fellow rappers alike were glued to their screens, dissecting every word, every angle, and every shade thrown. And in the middle of this chaos, Brandon Ingram, NBA star and GloRilla's rumored beau, suddenly exits the picture, leaving whispers and questions in his wake. GloRilla, no stranger to the spotlight, didn't stay silent for long. The streets expected a passive response, maybe a tweet, maybe a subtle post, but what they got was pure fire. From fiery Instagram videos to viral reactions that had fans replaying every clip, GloRilla made it clear, she's not someone you mess with. The tension isn't just personal, it's a full-blown public drama, a collision of hip-hop, NBA culture, and social media frenzy. Everyone wants a piece of it, from the blogs to the late-night shows, and nobody is safe from speculation. This isn't just another celebrity scuffle, it's a story about pride, loyalty, and power dynamics in the entertainment world. Betrayal, jealousy, and shockwaves of revelation are moving faster than the speed of a viral trend. And while some are taking sides, others are just watching the dominoes fall, waiting to see how far GloRilla will go and how Megan and Yo Gotti will respond. One thing's for sure, what started as a scandal could turn into a cultural moment no one will forget. Strap in, because this drama is only getting started and the heat is about to explode. The city was buzzing, the lights flickering like they knew something big was about to drop. GloRilla had always been the underdog, the Memphis queen clawing her way up the ladder while everyone else underestimated her. But this was a whole new level of chaos. When Megan Thee Stallion decided to throw that bombshell about the alleged three-way with Yo Gotti, she didn't just stir gossip, she ignited a full-blown storm. And GloRilla? She wasn't about to let anyone disrespect her name, her reputation, or her circle without a response. It all started that afternoon, in the middle of a seemingly normal day. Social media blew up like a fuse had been lit. Every notification sounded like an alarm, and GloRilla's phone didn't stop buzzing. At first, she tried to ignore it. She was used to haters, rumors, and fake beef, but the intensity was different. Fans were tagging her, memes were being made, and even late-night hosts were commenting. It wasn't just personal, it was public, and in this industry, public could make or break you overnight. Meanwhile, Brandon Ingram, who had been quietly linked to GloRilla, suddenly became a part of the conversation he never asked for. Rumors swirled that he had stepped back, leaving her to handle the mess alone. Some said it was shock, some said it was betrayal, but whatever it was, it added fuel to an already burning fire. The streets were talking, and everywhere GloRilla went, eyes followed, waiting for a hint of a reaction. Her camp knew the stakes. Handle this wrong, and it could turn into a full-on career disaster. Handle it right, and she could cement herself as untouchable. GloRilla's first response wasn't verbal. She let her actions speak. Videos started surfacing, clips of her in the studio, throwing up her hands, laughing with that fierce energy that had earned her respect. It was subtle, almost casual, but everyone watching knew it was calculated. This wasn't about Megan, Yo Gotti, or Brandon, it was about GloRilla reclaiming her narrative. And make no mistake, she was taking control. She wasn't going to sit back while social media decided her next move. Her team scrambled to craft a message, but GloRilla had already decided she didn't need anyone else's words to speak for her. Fans began to see snippets, a post here, a story there, each one dripping with attitude and unapologetic confidence. Every comment, every reaction, every share was a signal. She was back, she was ready, and she wasn't scared of the heat coming her way. People started speculating. Was she going to confront Megan? Address Yo Gotti? Or was she about to drop a diss track that would shake the hip-hop world? Nobody knew, and that uncertainty made the streets hungry for more. And then came the whispers about Brandon. Some said he left because he couldn't handle the spotlight. Others said he was scared of being dragged into a drama that wasn't his own. But for GloRilla, that was secondary. Her focus wasn't on who stayed or who left. It was on her power, her voice, and her brand. The energy in Memphis was electric. Local radio stations picked it up, street corners were buzzing, and every night, social media became a battlefield. It wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was survival, pride, and respect all rolled into one. As night fell, GloRilla's message became clear. She would not be undermined, underestimated, or silenced. Megan had tried to throw a jab. Yo Gotti's name had been dragged into the fire, and Brandon had taken a step back. But GloRilla's response was more than words. It was presence. And in the world of hip-hop, presence is everything. The first chapter of this drama wasn't just setting the stage. It was a declaration. Memphis had its queen, and no one, not even Megan or Yo Gotti, was going to make her second-guess her throne. The morning after the social media explosion, the city woke up to a storm. Screens were filled with heated takes, side-eye reactions, and everything in between. Fans were split, the blogs were in overdrive, and GloRilla's mentions were trending faster than any of her songs ever had. But she wasn't sweating it. She was thriving in it. The streets, the studio, and the clubs knew one thing. When GloRilla is pushed, she strikes back harder. And this time, she wasn't just responding. She was rewriting the narrative. It started with whispers in the industry circles. DJs at local radio stations were playing her latest tracks back-to-back, teasing fans with cryptic mentions of her response to the drama. Even the big names in hip-hop were watching closely. GloRilla had a way of making energy bend to her will. When she's on, she commands attention, and everyone else has to wait their turn. Meanwhile, Megan's post about the alleged three-way with Yo Gotti had set off a wildfire, and the intensity of it all forced every player into the spotlight. This wasn't just entertainment. This was power, influence, and reputation war all rolled into one. Brandon Ingram's absence was the rumor everyone wanted to unpack. Some said he walked away quietly to protect his career. Others said it was heartbreak, and a few claimed it was cowardice. Social media detectives pieced together screenshots and old posts, trying to paint a picture, but none of it mattered to GloRilla. She wasn't looking for validation from him, or anyone. What mattered was her stance, her respect, and her ability to dominate the streets while keeping her name untouchable. She had learned early in the game that vulnerability could be weaponized against you, so she played her cards tight, letting the drama roll over everyone else while she stayed in control. That control became evident when she hit the studio. Cameras followed her into dimly lit rooms, beats pumping through speakers, and every move she made was calculated. GloRilla was crafting her art like a general preparing for battle. Every lyric, every flow, every punchline designed to hit harder than the last. Rumors of a diss track began circulating before she even dropped a word, and the suspense made the streets electric. People weren't just waiting, they were anticipating a cultural moment. And in this game, anticipation is just as powerful as the action itself. Meanwhile, the tension between Megan and GloRilla was simmering, though it remained unspoken publicly. Social media was a chessboard, each post a move, each story a strategy. Fans speculated on potential beefs, alliances, and reactions, but GloRilla stayed unpredictable. Her silence spoke louder than words. She didn't need to comment immediately, because she knew timing could make or break a narrative. Every rapper knows the importance of the moment. Strike too soon, and you look desperate. Strike too late, and the audience loses interest. She had mastered that timing, and everyone was watching her next move like hawks circling prey. The street-level response was just as intense. Memphis corners, lounges, and late-night diners buzzed with conversation. Everyone had an opinion, some defending GloRilla, some siding with Megan, some shaking their heads at Brandon's supposed retreat. But what stood out most was respect. Even those who didn't like her admitted one thing: she handled this differently. She didn't run, she didn't cry, and she didn't let the narrative spin out of control. Instead, she used it, bending the chaos into fuel for her climb. It was street-level power, raw and undeniable, and everyone who mattered knew she was untouchable. By the time night rolled in, GloRilla's energy had set the tone for the rest of the city. Her posts were viral, her presence magnetic, and every fan, critic, and industry insider was counting the minutes for her next move. Brandon's absence was no longer a question mark. It was just part of the story, part of the drama she controlled. Megan's allegations hung in the air like smoke, but instead of suffocating her, they elevated her. The streets knew, the industry knew, and social media knew. GloRilla had the power to turn chaos into dominance, heartbreak into fuel, and rumors into empire building. And that's the point. This wasn't just a personal feud. It was a demonstration of what happens when you combine talent, intelligence, and street credibility. GloRilla wasn't just reacting to drama. She was creating history. The headlines would change, the stories would evolve, and the fans would continue to speculate. But she would remain the center of the storm, untouchable and commanding attention like a queen who refused to be dethroned. Memphis had its champion, and the world was watching every single move. The streets weren't just talking, they were living the drama. GloRilla had transformed what could have been a simple social media scuffle into a full-blown cultural moment. Every corner, every club, every barbershop in Memphis had her name on the tip of every tongue. Megan's post about the alleged three-way with Yo Gotti had lit the fuse, but GloRilla's response, or rather, the way she carried herself in the aftermath, was what made people stop scrolling and actually watch. This wasn't just gossip, this was power in action. The city had learned long ago that GloRilla doesn't play. She wasn't just another rapper hoping to make it big. She was a strategist, a queen in her own right, and every move she made was calculated for maximum impact. Her presence in the studio was magnetic. Cameras caught her walking in like she owned the place, her entourage trailing behind like soldiers ready for war. Beats were dropping, lyrics were flying, and every line seemed to be laced with subtle shots aimed at the gossip, the haters, and anyone who doubted her. Fans began dissecting each snippet, looking for hidden meanings and references, turning every post into a viral event. Meanwhile, Brandon Ingram's absence was still the elephant in the room. Rumors about why he stepped back were everywhere. Some said he was scared of being dragged into a scandal that wasn't his own. Others whispered heartbreak, claiming he couldn't handle the pressure of being involved with a rising star in the middle of a public storm. But Brandon wasn't the story. GloRilla made sure of that. She was the headline, the narrative, and the one controlling the energy. Every smile she flashed, every video she posted, every performance she gave reinforced one undeniable truth. She didn't need anyone to validate her power. Then came the streets' reaction, which was always the truest test. Memphis had always been a city that respected authenticity, and GloRilla had earned hers. Her friends, supporters, and even casual fans turned her energy into memes, chants, and viral moments. Local radio stations started calling in with interviews, teasing exclusive insights, and fans were lining up outside studios, hoping to catch a glimpse of her. This wasn't just hype. It was proof that she had the city, the culture, and the audience in the palm of her hand. She had flipped a potentially messy scandal into a showcase of dominance. The tension with Megan was a different kind of fuel. Social media analysts and bloggers speculated on every possible scenario: confrontation, collaboration, or an all-out beef. But GloRilla played her cards like a pro. Instead of making reckless statements, she dropped subtle hints in lyrics, slyly referencing betrayal, loyalty, and respect. It was enough to set the rumor mill on fire without ever fully revealing her hand. And that ambiguity? That's what made her dangerous. She was unpredictable, and the world could feel it in every post, every song snippet, and every Instagram story. Yo Gotti's name lingered in the background like a shadow. Some said he was enjoying the attention. Others thought he was trying to stay out of the drama altogether. But no matter where he stood, the situation elevated GloRilla's presence. Her confidence, her energy, and her refusal to bow to anyone, even legends in the industry, made her untouchable. Fans began drawing comparisons between her and the legends before her, noting how she could take a personal attack, twist it, and turn it into power. It was a level of street strategy, mixed with industry smarts that most could only dream of. As the night fell, GloRilla's energy didn't fade. It intensified. Studio lights glowed like a beacon. Her voice carried through the city, and her social media exploded with engagement. Every clip, every story, and every post confirmed one thing: she was in control. Brandon Ingram's retreat didn't matter. Megan's allegations didn't matter. Yo Gotti's involvement didn't matter. The city, the streets, and the fans were all watching GloRilla rise, and nothing could stop it. Memphis had its queen, and the world was learning her name. She wasn't just a rapper, she was a movement, and this was her proving ground. The narrative was clear. Chaos could be turned into power, rumors into influence, and betrayal into motivation. GloRilla had done what few could. She had taken a storm designed to knock her down and used it to rise higher than ever before. The streets knew, the industry knew, and even her critics had to admit, she wasn't just surviving the drama, she was dominating it. The energy surrounding GloRilla had shifted from gossip to obsession. The city wasn't just talking about her, it was waiting for her next move like it was the next championship game. Every social media post, every studio clip, every appearance was dissected, replayed, and debated across every corner of the internet. GloRilla had become the center of a storm she didn't start, but she was fully in control of. And in the streets, control is everything. The tension between her and Megan Thee Stallion had reached a fever pitch. Rumors swirled that private messages had been exchanged, cryptic shots were thrown in lyric snippets, and fans were piecing together everything like detectives. The alleged three-way with Yo Gotti was no longer just a scandal. It had become the spark for a full-blown cultural conversation about loyalty, respect, and boundaries in the industry. Yet GloRilla never overreacted. She knew that sometimes the strongest move is to let others run themselves into the ground while you remain poised, calculated, untouchable. Brandon Ingram's retreat still loomed over the drama. Some whispered that he was overwhelmed by the intensity of GloRilla's world. Hip-hop, social media, and fame were a dangerous mix, especially when combined with scandal. Others said he left to protect his own image, to avoid becoming collateral damage. But GloRilla? She didn't flinch. She had faced haters, doubters, and predators long before this moment. Brandon's absence wasn't a weakness, it was a narrative twist that added fuel to her fire. In fact, it only amplified the streets' fascination with her. She wasn't chasing anyone. Anyone who left had already made their choice. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti's position was delicate. He had been pulled into a drama he never asked for, and yet his name carried weight in the streets and online. Some fans tried to read into his silence, theorizing about alliances and betrayals, but GloRilla kept the focus on her own power. Every post she made, every story she dropped, subtly reminded the world that she was the center of the universe right now. She didn't need to attack. She didn't need to explain. Her aura, her energy, and her unapologetic confidence spoke louder than any words ever could. The streets were alive with speculation. Memphis radio stations ran specials discussing the queen versus queen energy, and local blogs dissected every lyric, every look, every move. Fans created memes, debates ignited in comment sections, and the energy spread nationwide. People weren't just following GloRilla, they were invested in her story. They were living it. Every post, every performance, every subtle wink or gesture became a headline. And GloRilla thrived on that attention. She wasn't just surviving the storm. She was directing it, bending it to her will, and proving that she could turn chaos into dominance. Her team worked nonstop behind the scenes. Managers, PR, stylists, and producers all collaborated to ensure that every appearance, every track, every snippet maintained maximum impact. But the brilliance was that GloRilla didn't need her team to fight for her. She fought with her presence. Walking into studios, stepping onto stages, or even dropping casual posts online, she carried an energy that demanded respect. People weren't debating whether she could handle this, they were debating how anyone could ever step to her. As night fell, the tension in Memphis hit a fever pitch. Clubs, street corners, and social media feeds were all buzzing. Every fan wanted to know, would GloRilla confront Megan directly? Would she release a track aimed at Yo Gotti? Would she finally speak on Brandon's absence? And even if she did, would she come out unscathed? The suspense was electric. She had created a narrative where every possible move had maximum stakes and the world couldn't look away. She wasn't just a rapper. She was a strategist, a force, and a cultural phenomenon all rolled into one. One thing was undeniable. GloRilla had transformed personal drama into power, controversy into dominance. The alleged three-way, the social media clout, and Brandon's retreat had all become fuel for her rise. She didn't just survive the storm, she commanded it. Every fan, every critic, every industry insider had to respect the queen who refused to back down, who refused to be silenced, and who refused to let anyone take her crown. Memphis knew, the streets knew, and the world was about to find out. GloRilla wasn't playing. She was winning. The heat had reached an all-time high. Social media wasn't just buzzing, it was combusting. Every mention of GloRilla, Megan, Yo Gotti, or Brandon was dissected, screenshot, and debated across the country. Memes, reactions, and takes were flying faster than anyone could keep up with. But GloRilla? She was calm, collected, and electric. While everyone else was panicking or overreacting, she moved with purpose, letting her aura speak louder than any post could. In the streets, power was shown, not told, and GloRilla was showing it in full force. Her studio sessions had become legendary. Clips of her dropping bars, rehearsing verses, and vibing to beats flooded social media. But the genius was in the subtlety. She wasn't openly attacking Megan or Yo Gotti. Instead, she was crafting her narrative through art. Every punchline hinted at loyalty, betrayal, and respect, without ever fully revealing the targets. Fans dissected every second, reading between the lines, replaying every clip, and speculating endlessly. The tension was real, but GloRilla had turned it into fuel. She was transforming scandal into strategy, gossip into empire building. Brandon Ingram's absence still lingered as a topic of conversation. Some said he had quietly checked out of the chaos. Others whispered heartbreak, claiming he couldn't handle the magnitude of GloRilla's rising star. But she didn't flinch. She had faced doubters, haters, and fake friends before, and Brandon's retreat wasn't going to shake her. In fact, it added another layer to the story. A reminder that GloRilla didn't rely on anyone else to hold her crown. She had learned that the strongest moves in this game are often made alone, with precision, focus, and unshakable confidence. Meanwhile, the streets were alive with speculation. Memphis was electric. Barbershops, lounges, and corner stores echoed with debates over who had the upper hand. Fans dissected her every post, every wink, every lyric snippet. DJs teased exclusive plays of her new tracks, hinting at veiled references to the drama. Bloggers ran think pieces analyzing body language in videos and posts, creating layers of intrigue and hype. Social media became a chessboard, and GloRilla was moving like a grandmaster, always 10 steps ahead. Megan Thee Stallion remained in the background, watching the energy unfold. Rumors swirled that she had been trying to gauge GloRilla's next move, but nothing concrete emerged. GloRilla had mastered the art of psychological warfare without saying a word. The streets, the fans, and even the industry were caught in her orbit, waiting for her to make a move. But she wasn't in a hurry. She let the drama build, letting anticipation heighten the stakes, proving that patience was a weapon just as deadly as a diss track or viral post. Yo Gotti's name lingered, a shadow over the entire narrative. Some claimed he was benefiting from the publicity, others said he was carefully staying out of the fire. But his involvement, intentional or not, only served to amplify GloRilla's rise. Every subtle nod to betrayal, loyalty, or power in her verses was interpreted as a masterstroke of influence. She was bending the narrative without lifting a hand, creating a spectacle that had everyone watching, guessing, and talking nonstop. As night fell, the city felt the tension in every corner. Studio lights glowed like a beacon, and social media feeds were alive with speculation and fan theories. GloRilla's energy was magnetic. Every performance, Every post, every story reinforced her dominance. She wasn't just reacting, she was orchestrating. The alleged scandal with Megan and Yo Gotti, Brandon's retreat, and the media circus had all become instruments in her eyes. Memphis knew it, the streets knew it, and soon, the world would know it too. GloRilla wasn't just surviving the storm, she was owning it. One fact was undeniable. GloRilla had taken chaos and turned it into power. Rumors, drama, and betrayal had been transformed into influence, attention, and respect. The city, the fans, and even the critics could see it. She was untouchable, unshakable, and unstoppable. Every move she made, every lyric she dropped, and every post she shared reinforced her dominance. The storm had been fierce, but she had not only weathered it, she had risen above it, claiming her crown and solidifying her place as a queen in a world full of challengers. The intensity had reached its peak. Memphis was on fire, social media feeds were overloaded, and every corner of the internet was discussing GloRilla, Megan, Yo Gotti, and Brandon as if the city itself depended on it. But for GloRilla, this was more than just drama. It was validation, power, and a stage she was built to dominate. Every move she made, every post she shared, every verse she recorded sent a clear message. She wasn't just in this game, she owned it. The alleged three-way with Megan and Yo Gotti had evolved into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Hip-hop fans were dissecting lyrics, body language, and Instagram posts as if they were reading a suspense novel. Every subtle gesture GloRilla made was analyzed, replayed, and shared across millions of feeds. But she stayed focused, calm, and untouchable. She knew that control wasn't just about words, it was about energy, presence, and influence. And she had all three in abundance. Brandon Ingram's continued absence had turned into a subplot in its own right. Some claimed heartbreak, others whispered fear, but GloRilla treated it like water off a duck's back. In this game, she had learned early that loyalty was rare and dependency was dangerous. She didn't need anyone to validate her power. Her confidence, talent, and street credibility spoke louder than any relationship ever could. Brandon's choice to step away only highlighted her strength. She was untouchable, even when others faltered. The streets responded in kind. Memphis barbershops, late-night diners, and street corners were alive with discussion, speculation, and admiration. Fans debated strategy, dissected lyrics, and celebrated her ability to rise above the chaos. Local DJs played her tracks nonstop, teasing every hint of reference to the scandal. Bloggers dissected every post for hidden meanings. Every meme, every discussion thread, every reaction video became part of the cultural moment she was creating. It wasn't just entertainment, it was influence, power, and validation all rolled into one. Megan Thee Stallion's shadow loomed, but GloRilla remained untouchable. Social media was filled with cryptic commentary, subtle lyrical jabs, and carefully curated posts, keeping the streets guessing. GloRilla understood the art of anticipation. She let the drama breathe, knowing that every second of suspense amplified her dominance. The public's attention wasn't just captured, it was held, stretched, and manipulated in her favor. She had become a strategist as much as an artist, commanding the narrative without ever losing her composure. Yo Gotti's position added another layer of intrigue. Some suggested he was benefiting from the attention, others claimed he was avoiding unnecessary confrontation. But no matter what, GloRilla used the situation to her advantage. Every subtle reference, every cryptic story, and every verse hinted at power, loyalty, and betrayal, without ever fully revealing her hand. Fans dissected every syllable, turning speculation into fascination. She had turned a potential scandal into a masterclass in influence, visibility, and street credibility. As night descended, the city pulsed with anticipation. Studio lights reflected her focus, social media feeds exploded with engagement, and every fan and critic watched, waiting for the next move. GloRilla wasn't merely surviving the storm, she was commanding it. The alleged drama, the rumors, and Brandon's retreat had all become instruments of her ascent. Memphis had its queen, and her power radiated far beyond the city limits. She wasn't just responding, she was orchestrating a narrative that made the world stop, stare, and respect her dominance. One truth was undeniable. GloRilla had taken chaos, drama, and betrayal and transformed it into influence, control, and authority. Rumors became fuel, social media became a battlefield, and the streets became her stage. She had mastered the art of turning personal conflict into cultural power. Every post, every verse, and every subtle gesture reinforced her dominance. GloRilla wasn't just surviving, she was rising, climbing, and cementing her legacy as a queen who refused to be dethroned. The streets, the industry, and the fans all knew it. In the chaos of drama, GloRilla thrived, and the crown was hers. The streets have spoken, social media has exploded, and the culture is buzzing. GloRilla has proven one undeniable truth. She doesn't just survive the storm, she commands it. And now, it's your turn to witness history in the making. Don't sleep on the queen who turned betrayal into power, rumors into influence, and drama into dominance. Every post, every lyric, every move is a lesson in strategy, confidence, and unapologetic strength. This isn't just entertainment. It's a masterclass in owning your narrative, standing tall in the face of chaos, and rising above anyone who doubts you. If you're ready to ride this wave with GloRilla, stay connected. Watch her every move, stream her latest tracks, and follow the story as it unfolds. Every reaction, every verse, every post is part of a cultural moment you don't want to miss. The drama, the fire, and the power are still unfolding, and the streets are alive with anticipation. GloRilla isn't just a rapper, she's a movement, a queen, and a force to be reckoned with. Witness it, feel it, share it, and remember, in a world full of chaos, the ones who rise above, like GloRilla, are the ones who define history. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and the queen isn't done claiming her throne.